Well, here we are again for another employment law update. Last time we talked about casuals and the difficulties because it wasn't defined in law. This time we'd like to talk about temps, temporary employees, and temporary agencies. What's the issue with this? Well, the facts are employees have no protection for bad behaviour. So an employer treats them badly or their boss treats them badly, they have no protection. Let me just first of all describe to you the structure and how this is all set up. In temping situations where there's a temping agency involved, there are three parties. First one is the employer. The second one is the temping agency themselves. And of course the third one is the employee. So, how does their relationship work? First off, we have the employee looking for work. So the employee goes to the temping agency. The temping agency says, of course we've got work for you. The temping agency goes off to the business. We've got you the skilled labour you want. So how do they take it further? They seal it up. This is what they do. First off, they create an employment contract with the employee. Then they go through and have a contract, a commercial contract with the business. Then obviously the employee does the work. But one problem, isn't there? The employee wants to be paid. Who pays him? That's the interesting point. Okay, first off, what actually happens, every hour that he works, the business pays the temping agency. The temping agency take their cut of this, normally 30%. And what's left over, they will pay the employee for every hour they work. Right, so there we've got it. A temping agency making good money, usually 30%, out of this situation. So now you can see the structure. How does the law affect this? The employer is actually the agency, not the business. So therefore, if an employee is treated badly, for example, they're bullied, be sexually harassed, anything along those lines where there's bad behaviour, there's no recourse. But most important of all, there's no recourse for dismissal. So quite often what happens with these temps, they go to work, they're working for the business, and the business says to them one day, we no longer want you, don't come back. Well, of course, as most Kiwis would do, hang on mate, you can't do that to me, I'm an employee, you've got to give me good reasons, just don't come back. So they go to their temping agency and go, look, he's dismissed me. Temping agency says to them, sorry, if you can't work there, we haven't got any other work for you, you're finished. So that employee ends up with no money, nowhere to go. They'll go to a lawyer, they'll go to an advocate or something like that and say, what rights have I got to protect myself from unjustified dismissal because it was? What they'll be advised is this. Your employer is the temping agency. They've done nothing wrong. All they did was put you in with the business. The business, yeah, well, they might have dismissed you, but you've got no rights to that because your employer is the temping agency. Don't waste our time. Don't take it to the court. Not good enough, is it? All these temps have been unjustifiably dismissed. They've been treated badly. They've got no recourse in law. There you are, folks. Another employment law problem that needs to be resolved.